Hello, my fellow Italian food fanatics. Today we're going to make a wonderful linguine. It's going to be linguine with lemon and mint. It's absolutely phenomenal. Look, here's the dish. If you like what you see, please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe and like, hit the little bell button so that you'll be notified when I release more videos, which is almost on a daily basis. Now come on. Let's get into the kitchen and let's show you how to make this wonderful, elegant pasta. It's gonna be phenomenal. You're gonna love it. Come on, let's go. Hello, my Italian food fanatics. Today we're gonna make a lemon linguine. It's gonna be absolutely delicious, and we're gonna garnish it with mint. We're gonna need some lemons. We're also gonna need some lemon leaves. Now, I bring these out of my own garden, and so consequently, I have these, but you can still find them in your better grocery stores. We'll use some butter. We'll use some Parmigiano Reggiano. We're also going to use some 100% California olive oil, not extra virgin this time. And we'll need a pot and some water and a zester. You should always have a zester ready. I have two different types. This one has a little bit larger holes, and we're going to zest the lemons. And you have to realize, too, that what you've been told about the pith, or the white part of the lemon that's under the skin, being bitter, is a fallacy. It's not true. If you go and just taste the pith, you will see that it tastes like nothing. The reason why it tastes bitter is because once the cell's walls are broken in the skin of the lemon or the orange, these combine to create a somewhat of a bitterness, believe it or not. Try and see for yourself. Don't believe the hype. Question everything. In fact, I want you to question me. Anyway, let's get started with this. This is going to be fantastic. It takes a little bit of time. We're going to have to make some lemon water, but it'll be worth it in the end, I promise. All right, first we need a sauce pot, and we're going to put some water in there. I'm going to put about 4 cups of water because we are going to finish the cooking of the linguine inside of this water. We're actually going to use it in a pan, in a skillet, to finish cooking. And let's just zest this one lemon. All right, we're going to add some of these lemon leaves, and we'll also cut this lemon in half, squeeze it in there. You don't worry about the seeds or anything like that, because what we're going to do is strain this out. Now we're going to put this on the fire. We're going to bring it to a simmer, and it's going to simmer away for about 40 minutes. We'll be back. All right, here we are in the stove. We'll turn the heat on, and we're going to bring this to a boil, and then we're going to let it simmer for about 40 minutes, as I mentioned before. We'll come back when that's going. All right, my Italian food fanatics, while our water is simmering, we're going to take some regular olive oil and put it in my blender here. And we're going to zest the skin of one lemon into, whoops, sorry about the shaking, but it's inevitable when I'm this close to the camera. We're going to zest one lemon into the bowl of the blender, and we're going to spin it up. And then, once this is done spinning, we are going to let it steep or sit in there for about 20 to 25 minutes so the oil can absorb the lemon, the oils in the lemon and the lemon flavor, and then we're going to strain it all out. All right? So here's this part of it. It's not really that sexy, so I'll save you the pain of having to look at this, and we'll come back when it's done. Okay, we've spun it up enough. It took about 2 or 3 minutes to do this, but the lemon zest is now been incorporated into the oil, and we're going to let it sit in here for about 20 minutes, and then we're going to strain it through a small sieve. In the meantime, our pot with our lemon zest, our leaves, and the lemon is come to a boil, and now it's been simmering here for a few more minutes. We're going to actually cover it, and that helps keep flavors trapped inside, believe it or not. It seems ridiculous, but it's true. Whatever flavor that you can smell is actually escaping. So we'll keep it covered, and we're going to let it simmer away for the next 40 minutes. And we'll come back where we're going to strain that out. As you can see, our lemon water is slowly simmering away. That's exactly what you want. You don't want it to boil, you want it to simmer away. You don't want it to get bitter and cloudy and stuff like that. Even though that really is not going to matter as far as the cloudiness is concerned, but the bitterness. You want it to very, very slowly infuse the water with that lemon flavor. And I can tell you standing here right now that the perfume that's coming off of the water, even though it is a very little bit that leaches out, it is absolutely delicious. I can't wait to make this pasta for you. And for myself too. I can't wait to taste this thing. It's gonna be so delicious. Back when we strain. All right, it's been 20 minutes, and now we're gonna strain our lemon oil. Just like this. You can see this, the haze or whatever coming off of it. We're not going to press down on these things. We're just going to let it naturally drain out. We don't really need that much oil. This is just going to be a garnish. And so we don't want to press down and get any bitterness or anything like that in there, even though there still might be. We want to be as gentle as possible. So we'll just leave it like this and then reserve for garnish. All right, so our lemon water has been simmering away for 40 minutes. Oh, does that smell good when you lift up the top? And we're going to take it into another sauce pot and strain it. And we're not going to press down on any of this stuff. We don't want any bitterness or anything like that. We just want the essence. And we're going to use this water to actually finish cooking the pasta. In the meantime, we're going to put a saucepan of water on the stove to boil, to initiate the cooking of our linguine. All right, now we're back. And of course, you know, I use 4 cups of water. If this is your first time with me, I use 4 cups of water for most applications inside of a sauce pot to cook 1 portion or even 2 portions of pasta. In this case, it's going to be linguine. So we have the fire on. We have the pot on the fire with water in it, and we are going to cover it. Now these are professional sauce pots, so they don't come with covers. So I've just commandeered a cover from one of my other, pots that homemakers use in order to bring it up to the boil. You don't want to put salt in the pot until after it boils, and the reason for that is because if you do that, over time the salt will damage the inside of your pots. So we'll be back when this is at a boil. All right, our water has come to a boil. And now we add exactly 2 teaspoons of regular table salt. Not rock salt, not kosher salt, not Malden salt, not salt from Persia, not Hawaiian black salt. All of these salts are used for other purposes like finishing a dish. Salt is essentially salt. What makes the color different are the minerals that are in the salt, and we don't need to use those expensive salts to flavor our pasta water. So we just use regular salt. And now the water is ready for our linguine. But we have one thing to do before we come back to this. Okay, here we are for the last preparations of our lemon pasta before we get on the stove and start cooking the macaroni. We have a little bit of butter here. I have some mint that is fresh from my own garden that we're going to chop in a second. We're going to be using a little bit of California extra virgin olive oil and, of course, some very high quality linguine. And you can tell that it's high quality by virtue of the fact that it is not very, very smooth. It's kind of jagged. In fact, if we were to take a microscope and look, it would be very jagged. You can feel it to the touch with the difference from the cheaper types of pasta. And that's because it's extruded properly from brass dies and it's been slowly dried. It hasn't been put into an oven to dry like they do with lesser quality pastas. We also have a little bit of a garnish. I took one of these little leaves that I have from the garden, and we're going to put that on the top of the pasta to finish it off. In the meantime, let's take these leaves, which I've already washed and dried a little bit, and we're going to give them somewhat of a mix, or a chop, pardon me, because we're going to mix them into the pasta. We don't want to bruise them. We just want to cut through them because they'll eventually end up being part of the linguine. And we just want to impart a little bit of color and, of course, their flavor. So that is going to be enough. Somewhat of a rough chop. And now we're ready to go to the stove. One other thing I didn't mention, and that is our Parmigiano Reggiano. I've just taken that chunk that you saw in the beginning, and I've grated some of it on our box grater. You don't need to use anything fancy. I use a regular box grater, the very fine size, and I've just covered it with a little bit of plastic wrap while I've been waiting for the lemon oil to infuse and our water to simmer. So here we go. Let's go to the stove. So our water is boiling, and we are going to add our pasta. Now, it's not necessary to push down on the pasta, and the reason for that is because if you do that, the pasta is going to tend to break. We don't want to do that. If you just wait a second, it will get soft. You can test it like this by pressing down a little bit. It will get soft and will eventually be able to work it into the water itself. All right? So the few seconds that this is not in the water is not going to make a difference to the dish itself. But we'll give it see how soft it's become now. We'll give it a little bit of a stir and get it in there. Now, it's important in the beginning of cooking pasta to stir it. But once the starches gel, they will not stick. There's no need to add any oil to the pot. There's no need to do anything. All you need to do is to make sure that it's submerged in the water. It doesn't have to be in a tremendous amount of water either. In fact, it's better because the starches leach out into the water, and if you need to use the pasta water, as we may need to in the future to finish the dish, you have those starches in there that help make the final sauce very creamy. Now, in the beginning, of course, it's important until those starches gel. It's also not necessary to have the water at a rolling boil. You can cook pasta perfectly fine in under 212 degrees. So there we go. We'll be back. What we're going to do is we're going to undercook the pasta by about 4 to 5 minutes, and we're going to finish the final cooking in our lemon water. You'll see what I mean in just a moment. So now here's our skillet, and we're going to bring our lemon water into that with a ladle. And we're going to use about that much water to finish it off. We may need more, we may need less, but we always have that water available to us in the event that we do need it. Now, our pasta is about 3 minutes from being done, but what we're going to do, as you can tell, you can see that it's not done. It's still very very thick. We're moving it into the lemon water on high heat, and we're going to finish cooking it so that it gets the flavor of that lemon water. So it has the salt from the pasta water, and now it's going to pick up the lemon flavor. And what it's also going to do, it's going to leach out those starches into this lemon water, and while it cooks, the pasta is going to soak up that lemon water along with its flavor. And then we're going to add a little bit of butter and some olive oil, and then some of our mint and some Parmesan cheese, and a little bit of our reserved lemon oil that we infused. And it's going to be a delicious lemon dish with a hint of mint. How sweet it is. So I'll come back when we're almost done with this. And so now the pasta is almost done. Believe it or not, I've just tasted it, and you can see that water has been soaked up, and you can also see the way the starches have leached out into the water. So it needs to cook for about 1 more minute, and then we're going to add our Parmesan cheese and everything to it. We'll be back in a second. Okay, now the pasta has just, for about 30 seconds, been undercooked. You can see how it's soaked up all of the water. We're going to now add a drizzle of our California extra virgin olive oil to finish the dish. We'll mix that in there. We're also going to add in our butter. And we're going to mix that in to make it very, very creamy. And a little bit of Parmesan cheese as well. All right, so there we go. There's a little bit of cheese. Now, if you do this and the pasta seizes up, you can always use some of the lemon water that we have to unseize it. Now look, it's actually perfectly creamy the way that it is. I mean, look how beautiful that is. It's gorgeous. It's perfectly done. It's creamy. It's nice. Now we're going to add in our chopped mint. And now it's ready to go to the plate. Okay? Just perfectly creamy that way. Unbelievable. Now we'll plate up. Put a little bit of lemon zest on there. And sprinkle a little bit of our oil around and on it. And then we'll put our little mint leaf here, like this. And we'll clean this off. And there you have a very, very elegant pasta dish. Now we got to taste it. All right, my fellow Italian food fanatics, here we are to taste this elegant and lovely lemon and mint pasta. It's got butter in it. As you know, it's got a little bit of olive oil. It's got everything. It is a very soigné, a very gourmet way of making this particular type of pasta. So let's see. Wow. Oh my goodness. The pasta is absolutely perfectly cooked. I mean, really, seriously, it is perfectly cooked. There's a light, beautiful lemon flavor. You can taste the mint. You can taste the cheese. You can taste everything. It's perfectly seasoned. I mean, it just doesn't get better than this. And butter. Oh, butter makes everything wonderful. I'm glad I'm not on a diet. I should be. But wow. There's just enough Parmigiano. There's just enough of everything. It's just perfect. Oh. You have to try this. Please, like and subscribe, hit the bell button, and do me a favor. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. If you have a request, one of our viewers did, and I'm going to be making something. But please, go in the kitchen and try and make this. It takes a little bit of time. It's going to take about an hour to do it, okay? But the results are going to be stunning. It's better than you can find in any restaurant. There's just no way you're going to find this in a restaurant. The only way that you can do it is make it for your friends and your family and other people that you love, and let them be envious of you. They're going to love you for it. They're going to say, oh, they want to be coming over and eating. But this, I mean, wow. I can't stop eating. I wish I could stop eating. Anyway, time to stop looking at me eating food that you should be making. So come on, get in the kitchen and go make this. I know you can do it. It's going to be phenomenal. I'll see you soon. Thank you.